It's my fault.
I Beyonce, yeah, I did a whole interview with Paulette Jordan, the Senate nominee, Democratic nominee for Idaho, and they blocked the whole thing because I opened with Beyonce.
Yeah. Yeah, we
So
gotta watch. I mean, haters, but we get it.
yeah,
Get
I
your
get it.
money.
No Drake, no Chris Brown, no Beyonce. We gonna go
Got it.
back. So hi again, Hope. How are you?
Hi, Kenny. I'm well.
We're starting this over because they will let us be great.
Yes.
First, I'm sorry, the youngest Black woman dispensary owner on the planet. Give her a round of applause, please. In the comments, give her a round of applause, please. She's a Black woman out here. How does that feel to be the youngest?
I'm ready for someone to take that title from me. I've had it for too long now. So that means that I'm not doing something right. That means that I have more to do, that I have more work to do.
You were 25 when it happened. You're still in your 20s. So I don't know. It's catching up.
I'm hard on myself. But that's what keeps me hungry, and that's what keeps me honest and humble. So I'm not too mad at it. But yeah, I am a little hard on myself. I'm working on it.
Okay, so you're from PG County. You went to McNamara High School. What was it like? Because did you grow up in the Wale era?
Yeah.
So did you know who I was back then?
No, I didn't know who you were then. I knew who you were when I moved to Atlanta. That's when I was introduced to Kenny Burns.
Because I signed Wale.
Yeah.
I originally wanted to sign UCB because they had the Sexy Lady record. And when I was at Rockefeller, Damon Dash. Oh, big shout! The Deltas and the Rock have something in common. It's the 24th anniversary. So you could do the Delta sign, I could do the Rock sign.
I'm not a Delta.
You're not?
No, I did not pledge when I was at Spelman. So I can't. That's why I was like, I'll just,
Wait, so they said that online? You need a Wikipedia, child.
Yeah, I probably need to go clean it up. I'm not a Delta. Didn't pledge when I was at Spelman. A lot of my friends are Deltas. Most of my friends at Spelman.
I was about to say, Deltas. Yeah, I know some of your friends, and they're all Deltas. Okay, great. But so Sexy Lady was out, and I wanted to sign them, and then Damon Dash didn't want to sign them. And so then I went back, and my sister that owns Ball Alert put me on Wale. But anyway, I thought that was your era.
That's definitely my era. Go-Go is still popping. People say Go-Go's dead. It's not at all. But that's when it was like
they can't mute DC. They cannot mute Go-Go ever. So you went to Spelman. When I started in my career, I went to the AUC as well. I went to the newly defunct Morris Brown though. And Spelman was the holy grail. Then you had Clark, and then Morehouse kind of existed. But what was your Black college experience like?
For me, it was really great. I went to Spelman really for the connections in the network it could give. I didn't pledge, but I will say Spelman is like a sorority in itself. Anywhere I go and I meet somebody that went to Spelman, we instantly connect. We're always trying to help each other. So I was trying to get that network. And then I realized too, that I remember when I was going to different schools, I got accepted to a lot of schools. So I was going to see their job fairs and stuff like that. I realized that big companies recruited at Spelman. And they were looking for me.
They set up on the yard, right? Didn't they set up on the yard?
They have, and then sometimes in the gym, they'll have the job fairs and all that stuff. So they had multiple different opportunities. And the companies that were coming, they were looking for Black people. They were looking for Black girls. They wanted that. Versus, if I went to University of Maryland, I'm competing with a whole different crowd. So for me, I was like, this is the best place for me because when they come to Spelman, they're looking for me. Yeah. It's funny, like looking at the climate that we're in right now. It's like we're kind of trying to change that so we don't have to create these own spaces. All spaces should be like that. You should look for me and I should be qualified. But, I knew how to set myself up for success. And it did. I ended up working in investment banking after I got recruited. I did an internship at JP Morgan my sophomore year.
Wow.
Nobody was, that doesn't happen. Even at University of Maryland, they're not recruiting there. They're recruiting at Harvard. They're recruiting at Penn, Stanford. They're not recruiting at University of Maryland.
Right.
But they came to Spelman because they knew they needed a Black girl, right?
Yeah, but I think if people knew that, they might consider Black colleges. Because my sons are athletes, and they, everything was like these big universities. I'm like, go be a star at Howard. Go.
But it's going to take them as a collective. They're going to have to. I really feel like it's going to take someone like a LeBron to come in and say,
that caliber.
all right, young kids, this is what we doing now.
Right.
You know, in order for that to happen, because you're just not getting the perks without, it has to be a group effort. We got to move all of our talent away and take that away from them. And I feel like that's what Spelman, you know, Spelman, Morehouse, every HBCU, that's the spirit of it. Like, let's pull our talent here and we'll become the Mecca. So you got to come to us, because you're not going to be able to get the top Black girl at Harvard. She's at Spelman. And that's how we have to kind of change our mentality.
You better say that, woman. So have you gone back to Spelman since you've been in the, I have a whole thing to talk about, but it just made me think, have you gone back and thought about maybe teaching about cannabis at Spelman?
I would love that opportunity. So I've done a panel at Morehouse. It was about 2 years ago, but you know, we're a little bit slow to adopt these types of things. There's still a negative stigma. We're still fighting a lot of other stigmas. HBCUs are underfunded. So I feel like, you know, I have a lot of work to do. That's why I said that in the beginning, because I have to create a scenario where I'm making it, you know, I'm making it a win-win for everybody.
Right.
So I'm definitely, that's on my mind, like, for sure.
Well,
I'm trying to create that.
I got an idea for you, and I have it later on in the conversation, but it's a way maybe we can use CBD and backdoor, because you got to talk about THC to talk about CBD. But back to you.
Yeah.
So did you start this whole quest in the cannabis world because you dabbled, or what out of college interests you in cannabis?
Yeah. So for me, I was always a cannabis user. People who really know me well, they're like, this makes sense, you know? So yeah, I always use cannabis, probably a lot. I didn't really understand the science behind it or anything like that. Right. But at the same time I was doing that, I was excelling in everything that I did. It wasn't like
magna cum laude, baby. Magna cum laude, baby. We can't. Hello, that's presidential.
Yeah, I wasn't a hot mess. I was the president of the economics clubs. I was an econ major at Spelman. My sophomore and junior year, I was doing internships on Wall Street. I got a job offer my junior year. So my senior year of college, I already knew where I was going to work. I had a 3.8. I mean, I was doing well. Same time I smoked every day.
Yeah.
You know, and I still
I'm getting the work done. No, what y'all talking about?
All that, you know, and I was still professional. I could go in any different type of room. I grew up doing pageants, so I dabbled a little bit in that. I was a Falcons cheerleader when I was at Spelman. Yeah, I also worked for AG at one point. I was a bottle girl for a few years. I did all of that.
Wait, you was in the club? You was in the club when I was in the club?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. My memory's bad. I might have smoked too back then. I don't know.
Yeah, I was around, but I mean, I just was quiet, getting my money, doing my thing.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, what really interests me was my mother raised me with an entrepreneurial spirit, and she raised me to look at opportunities for us to build generational wealth for our family.
Right.
So, you know, for me, when I saw the cannabis industry coming, remember I was an econ major, I was coming from finance, I was like, wow, this is going to be an industry. Forget the fact that I like to smoke and I like weed and all that stuff.
Right.
Because, I mean, I don't even think like that anymore.
Right.
But, like, forget all that. I just saw the economic opportunity. I was
crazy.
like, wow, this is how I'm going to build generational wealth for my family. And this is how I'm going to teach other people how they can do it for themselves. Maybe not through this industry, but I'll be able to create opportunities once I acquire enough power in myself for other people to do the same. And I feel like that's my purpose.
Yeah. Did you fight, like, were you into it when Colorado was, because like Colorado and that was booming first?
Yeah.
So
I was kind of, no, I wasn't thinking about it yet. So
okay.
I probably really didn't think about cannabis from a business perspective until 2014, like right after I graduated.
Okay. So you were at SunTrust, what was it called? SunTrust Murphy?
SunTrust Robinson Humphrey.
Robinson Humphrey. Mm-hmm. Were you
kind
of
the big
like
black building by Lennox? Yeah, I'm
familiar with it. And but I'm thinking, like, were you inside kind of just like you had your mind on this? I'm going to take this because, you know, you guys dealt with money and finance in there, obviously. Was it being inside to go back outside? Was that the play the whole time?
I don't even know if I thought that this came up probably about like 6 months into me working full time.
Okay.
And then I was like, opportunity. And I really didn't think that it would turn into what it has become.
Right.
And now where we were going. I didn't think I was going to have to quit my job at first. I quickly realized, okay, if this really happens, I'm going to have to like move back to Maryland, quit my job, change my life, you know? And then it just kind of happened, and it actually happened for me. So like, I didn't have to make the choice. You know, I got fired from SunTrust.
Oh, wow. Well, that was a blessing.
It was. I think they could see my interest fading once it started getting into this. And then also, there's a lot of different reasons. Politics, office politics, all types of stuff. I had a counterpart that we started the same time, young white male, me. It was like, yeah, I get it. But I think that everything happens for a reason, because I don't know if I would have left that security. I needed the push.
Yeah,
and
get out that door.
Here we are.
That's God. And I think sometimes we don't listen to him. You know, it's like, because I mean, you graduated from Spelman in 2014, 2015. Right. You were into, Marion, Maine. So so you get pushed out the door. You get into this industry that you clearly understand because you partake. But then you like start to learn, like, because for me, at first, I'm a convicted felon, like, so I was selling the other thing and the thing. So I'm figuring, I'm like, this shit terrifies me. I don't want no smoke. I don't, and these blurry state lines that they say, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I was a little nervous, but then a lot of my friends started really becoming successful in the business. So do you leave immediately from Atlanta when you left SunTrust, or you stayed around? Okay.
I stayed in Atlanta 2 more years. Actually, and I ended up, I mean, I've tried so many different things and done different things. I was on a reality show in Atlanta.
Okay.
And so I stayed pretty much through that, and I was still trying to figure out a way to stay in Atlanta. I love Atlanta. I still do. So I was just,
it's the shit.
Atlanta's I had so much fun. But it's not where I need to be right now. Not while I'm building this business. It's distracting.
Well, listen, when they open the state up for dispensaries, baby, guess what? The other Marion, Maine coming. I'm gonna invest.
I will hold you to that, Kenny.
Come on, it's a cat. Listen, one thing I know, because I'm in the liquor business heavy, right? And one thing I've always known, ownership is key. Now, if you can be on the right side of history as far as ownership in the beginning, you're in the beginning. So you talk about generational wealth. Just like liquor was illegal, marijuana will be. Hello, it's gonna be, and I promise you this, and please hold on to this statement. The best names, it ain't, listen, because we don't get into product and what I think about product and the design and the new shit. I ain't never seen no weed like this in my life. But the marketing, it's gonna be who markets the product the best. So I applaud you. It's brave to be out there on your own.
Yeah, it's scary, I mean, right now there are some bigger companies. There are these MSOs, multi-state operators. They're here. They're being able to raise millions and billions of dollars. This is already happening. Crazy. So they're coming out and they're saying they're preying on people like me. But I have a unique position because although I'm the youngest, I'm like one of 5 Black women in this industry. Like, thank you. There's like so much opportunity left. And it's funny because I read an article the other day about how they're trying to say that pretty much some of the mergers, the large M&A transactions in cannabis are violating.
What is M&A transfer, so they know?
Mergers and acquisitions. So when 2 companies join together, or when one company buys another company.
Yeah.
So, they're trying to say that pretty much there's like a commission over top of this that regulates this. And pretty much that commission is trying to say that this is violating antitrust laws. So just like when Sprint and T-Mobile just merged, they had to go before Congress and get approval and all that stuff. Right. So they're trying to say that these cannabis mergers are violating antitrust laws, but they are really going back and saying that even the biggest companies that are trying to merge right now won't even have like more than 0.3% market share.
Wow.
So that means that like there's still so much opportunity. It sounds crazy to hear companies merging and these are billion-dollar transactions, right? And so you feel like, damn, I'm too late to the game. It's like, no, you're not. No. They're talking about less than 0.3% market share even after they complete their merger.
Yeah.
I'm like, there is so much opportunity. And there's nobody out here right now that is truly, there's a lot of companies that are talking about social equity and they're doing these social equity programs, and they have social equity funds and all that stuff. But there is no one company out here right now that is doing real equitable deals for Black and brown people to get into the industry and really make money. And there's a way to create a company that everybody wins, instead of like one person winning a lot or one group of people winning a lot and then everyone else kind of like getting the small piece of the pie. Because that's what everyone else's model is right now. They're coming in, they're saying like, you can use our brand, but we own 49% of the license, you own 51, and I want to be able to buy the 51 at a different, you know, at a lower valuation later. They're raping people.
But I want to say this. This is as presidential as I'm gonna be on this conversation. You know, the problem with white people, bigoted, racist, classist, white people that are in power, the problem they have with Black people is that they cannot fucking kill us. They cannot stop us. They are frustrated with how much power and real acumen we now have, right? And so this is how I see shit like that. You know, if you look at the spirits industry, and I can relate, obviously, right?
Right.
You couldn't tell me that after all I've done for all these liquor companies, that somebody wouldn't be running to say, Kenny Burns, nigga, here you go.
Right.
No, they wouldn't beat down my door. Hope. They were trying to keep me in the box. But see, what God does is he put things in your life for certain reasons. When you have dreams, like you have dreams, you're starting this, you know, Marion, Maine, you're on your journey, you're fighting a good fight, you're trying to get the next youngest, you know what I'm saying? You're waving the flag, telling people that this is a viable business. Oh, and there's health things, and there are good things about, but you know, but you run into these roadblocks. But keep in mind and always be open to receive that what you want might not ultimately be your legacy. It might be what you want. It might not be you doing it. And I promise you, for me, I used to get so frustrated. I'd be like, I done created all this shit. I don't have that. I don't have, and you be in your own brain. But then, like I said, God comes along and he shows you. He shows you like your work is not in vain. What you are doing is necessary. So I just want to keep you spirited about that, because I know it's tough. Anything is tough. Being a Black woman in it is tough. Being a woman in it is tough. I mean, you have layers, but you have people that believe in you and that want to see you win. But speaking of social, you know, the equity in cannabis. Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So, okay, when we talk about social equity, I'm glad that you brought that question up.
I'm a journalist. I'm not just a party host.
No, you got it. No, because this is key. And this is what we got to focus on right now while we're trying to make the laws to legalize cannabis in different states. And then when we get to the federal level, but it'll only work at the federal level if we get it right at the state level first.
Much like voting, Black people.
Yes. You got to go out and vote, guys. Like
locally, state, federal.
And you got to build layers, like, and you can make change if you focus. But like I was saying, so like right now, I believe that social equity is focused on the wrong thing. When we talk about social equity, people are only talking about, really, I think it needs to be social justice and equity, a conversation about both, because there should be no legalization if there are people still locked up about for it. I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me. What I do every day, when I get a shipment of 10 pounds, you know, that's crazy. I'm like, man, there's people that was shipping packs forever. They was getting 100 pounds.
But the way you see, you know, and this is my thing, Hope. Like, that you got to fight for that. You got to figure out, and I don't support it. Like, I know so many people locked up first offense for weed in ungodly time. I'm talking about, now, mind you, since the 70s, this has been an accepted drug. Let's not talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like, this has been the accepted drug. Like, you know, everybody smoke weeds. Your mama, your dad. So my thing is like, how are these people still locked up? How, Sway? Now I want to take you off task. You can finish your last part, and then we can get to that. But
no, I agree. And I think that's the first part. When we're talking about social equity and social justice in cannabis, that's number one. Not how many Black people get dispensaries and grows and all that stuff, okay? Because first off, these people who were arrested, a lot of them, their families were completely disenfranchised. You take a male out of the household and that could ruin it. The odds are already stacked against us, right? We already don't have the same schooling. We don't have the same opportunities. We've been hearing about systemic racism, right? So they just added another layer by taking the Black man out of the household and then forcing the woman to be on government assistance, all this stuff. You know, I could go down the rabbit hole, but we got to first get them out of jail, and then we need to reinvest in those communities and directly to those families that have been affected. So I think, you know, I have a friend right now, Dr. Rachel Knox. She is fighting the city of Portland because their cannabis tax revenue, they are legal in Portland, in Oregon. Right. So in Portland, they did a study that pretty much, I think it's 79 or 80% of the tax revenue is going to the police force, not to the schools, not to the communities that were directly affected. And that was a part of the legislation that it was. So they're having to reform that, and she's leading that charge. That is, we have to ensure that in the legislation that this is written from day one, because it's hard to change a law once it gets, you know, once a bill is made into law, it's hard to go back and reform it. We got to get it right first. And they're going to try and just allow us, kind of like what Donald Trump does. He gives us a little carrot. It's like, oh, I'm going to pass a law giving $250 million to HBCUs. Y'all should be happy now. I did something for the Black community. $250 million ain't shit. Not for schools, you know, that's not a lot of money. Like, don't give us a little carrot and then think that we'll be happy. Don't just say, all right, we're going to expunge the records of people with nonviolent cannabis crimes, and we're not worried about them assimilating back into society. We don't care that we just messed up their families for the past, you know, 20
generation,
years. Generation, 20 years when they got locked up. And then we are also talking about systemic racism. Like, okay, you know, we have the spotlight now. So you know what? No more going easy. And we have to demand that first. And then after we handle those two issues, we make sure. I don't even know what happened.
Baby, Donald Trump, child. Donald Trump out here. No, I'm just playing. But I agree. No, we're not scared of them. We are hello. So long story short, I've been on this, right? Like, the reason I had John Ossoff on my show, the reason I've had Paulette Jordan, the reason why Joe Biden is coming on is because, like, I really, you know, excluding Joe, I want to discover the young superheroes. Like, when I was talking to Paulette, you know, she's a native Indian. I mean, they, you know, the atrocities done to her people are equal to ours, right? And I'm like, yo, she was so about human in nature, like humans in nature, and she was just so spiritual in her presence with this ancestry and what she was taught. Because, you know, I say this all the time. I mean, if we really want a revenge, that's when they got to be scared. We just want to reconstruct their government. No, their government. We have to reconstruct the rules. These rules are biased rules. We have to put people in office that can peel them back. And that's why I love what you're saying, because, you know, people keep saying vote, or you don't have to be a Democrat, or all these things are divisive. We don't have time for that shit.
Right.
You know, Ruth Gang, what's the lady on the Supreme Court? Ruth Gaithersburg, what's the lady?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. She's in jeopardy. Like, if she's gone off to the Supreme Court, we're in trouble. Like, we got to have a president. Y'all keep talking about Joe Biden, this, that, and the third. I don't give a fuck what Joe Biden said in 77. I don't. I don't give a fuck.
He is right now. We have to change the narrative, and that's
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Thank you, Jones 10. Thank you. RBG. I'm worried about her leaving though. Hope you feel me?
Right.
Or getting pushed out, or whatever they're gonna do.
And we have to. I mean, at the local level, you have a little bit more authority, and it trickles up. It's from that state. People always think of it from the top down. It's really from the bottom up when you talk about government.
And even state and local for you, your business and what you do is huge.
It's everything. It's what will shape the future of the industry. Like, and it's funny, every state now is trying to like outdo the other in what their laws include, you know, so that they can be the model. because what's going to happen, just like with liquor, the history of liquor, because liquor was medical at first too.
Really?
And then when all the states went medical, once it pretty much was majority, that's when they federally eradicated prohibition. That's what's going to happen with cannabis. All the states got to be on board, and they're going to take a kind of a group model of whatever is like working in most states.
By the way, Hope, I have 55 acres in Annapolis. If you ever want to do a grow, you let me know.
Okay.
But yeah, so I want to talk a little bit more and break weed down, right? Like the education process for me has been amazing, right? Because you have the CBD element of cannabis, you have these elements that really work. I actually flew before the pandemic hit. I'm a brand guy, like I'm a marketing guy. I come up with ideas. I go do the packaging, everything before I even resource, because I just want to see what it looks like. Am I going to be interested tomorrow? So I was still interested, child. I went to LA. I went to where they were making some CBD stuff, and I got these oils. And when I tell you, like wrist, knee, ankle, stub your pinky toe, I'm talking about this shit works.
Yeah.
So talk about some of the effects.
You're talking about CBD, no THC
CBD specifically, yes.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know the difference. They're like, okay, I see these CBD products. You can ship those. Like they have CBD flower.
Where'd that come from? Where the fuck did that come from? I don't believe it. They trying
2018, it's legal for real. So
no, I've seen it, but how?
The Farm Bill. So the Farm Bill, they passed that in 2018, and it allowed it clarified.
No, Hope. I know that part. I'm talking about how does it look like weed? It looks like weed.
Genetics. What happens is you just take people that can do tissue culture stuff, and they can create different genetics, and then just like you get little toy puppies, and it's like, how do you get that little puppy to be this little? How did you get it to have less than 0.3% THC? Through genetics.
But see, this is what fucks me up. Like this shit is so designer. Like I've never seen.
That's like now you seeing weed with like 30% THC, 35% THC. You're like, what in the world?
And with crystals on it.
That is better weed, y'all. But yeah.
Yeah, we need the expert to tell us. But even like the weed with the crystallization, I'm like, that's crack cocaine y'all putting on this weed. How high?
No, the nutrients. I mean, we just getting better, and you can grow better. They're learning new techniques. They're crossing different strains to get different effects. Some people, no good weed is using synthetic like terpenes or anything like that, but people are putting like synthetic terpenes and stuff in it. I mean, they can like alter
What's
all
a synthetic terpene?
So a terpenes and cannabinoids are what give you, terpenes give you like the flavor, the high. The cannabinoids give you the feeling. The terpenes give you the flavor and the taste. And the smell and all that stuff. Sometimes you open something up, you're like, oh, this smells like earthy. That has pinene in it. That's a terpene. Pinene's also found like in like wood and stuff like that. And then you have like limonene that is found in like citrus. So you ever smelled some strain that smells like oranges or something?
Whenever I've crossed somebody that smokes,
whenever it's like, that's why like they have different smells and all that stuff. And we all react to cannabis differently. But CBD pretty much, people sometimes they say that CBD is not psychoactive. Right. It is psychoactive. It can like alter your mood. It can make you calmer, but it's not euphoric. It's not going to make you high or like alter your ability to do anything. That's the difference.
Because I'm watching, they have pre-rolls. First of all, I walked with my partners, and he's an ex-D-boy. And I walked in the thing the other day, and I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, it's legal. It's CBD. I'm like, you sure? But my thing is like,
you're not going to get high, but like they have CBD flower. It's because technically this CBD oil, it came from the hemp plant. The hemp plant hemp and cannabis are essentially the same thing. It's just we drew this line in the sand, kind of, and said that hemp is anything that's under 0.03% THC, or Delta 9 THC. Delta 9 means like it's not heated up yet.
Right.
Okay, so like, because when you light the J, you're gonna lose some of the THC properties just from heating it up that quickly. This is why some people like to dab, you know, people using shatter and wax and all that stuff, but they have to like do it at a certain temperature, because if they heat it up too quickly, they lose the cannabinoids and terpenes while doing that.
Wow.
So that's why they like, you know, you see people use a blowtorch, but they like get it to a certain temperature. Some people got like whole like thermometers and all types of shit. I mean, some people are very serious, but they're normally dosing for medicinal purposes, and they might know, okay, at a certain temperature, I get more of these properties from the terpenes or the cannabinoids that I need to treat whatever ailment, you know, whatever it is that they're trying to treat. So, I mean, it's that we have so much more research to do on cannabis and how it really works in your body. Because do you want me to keep talking about the science?
No, I do, because I'm very interested in, because I mean, you have the sativas, you have I'm just interested in all the different ways that they make it work for you, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So I'm going to debunk a few myths a little bit. Okay.
Come on.
So sativa and indica don't really mean anything. You know what I mean? Like indica means India. It came from India. They found those types of plants in India. It's just about the look of how those plants grow. The indica plants, and I might get this wrong, y'all, because I'm not a grower, so I might be mixing them up, sativa and indica. But one is shorter and bushier, and it grows at a faster, you know, in a shorter cycle. And one is taller and more spread out, and it grows slower. So really, that's really the real difference between sativa and indica. But the way that cannabis reacts in your body is really unique to the person, if in all honesty. I mean, we all have similar properties and stuff, so we might have similar reactions, but it's really different. This is why you and I can smoke the same thing, eat the same thing, whatever it may be, use cannabis in the same way and have different reactions. Because I'm sure you've been around some people that act stupid, and you'd be like, I mean, I feel good.
Yeah, I really, honestly though, you know, the times I've smoked in my life, you know, I've been super energetic and like or I can't move. But I'm not gonna lie. And this was younger in my day, right? Mm-hmm. As I've gotten older, if I'm on vacation, and I guess, is it because I'm relaxed that I don't want to do anything, or because everything makes me like this?
Yeah, I mean, we change, our body changes. So we have something that's naturally in our body called the endocannabinoid system. Endo meaning in our body, right? The endocannabinoid system interacts with cannabinoids and terpenes, but cannabinoids are THC, CBD, CBG, CBN. There's like 100 and something of them. It's not just THC and CBD. Those are just the most prevalent and where we believe most of the medicinal properties are found. Right. But we're finding other cannabinoids do have more medicinal properties, and we'll probably do studies and find that there's a whole bunch of different things that we don't even really know yet.
Needed.
But we have the endocannabinoid system. We have pretty much CB1 and CB2 receptors in our body that kind of interact with these chemicals. And we're already at certain levels. And the goal is to put us in homeostasis. So we are in the best version of ourselves, where our body is functioning at its highest capacity. And cannabinoids interact with your natural endocannabinoid system to balance you out. So you could be throwing yourself over balancing. That's why I'm saying, like, dosing is important, because some people do overdo it. You know what I mean? And have you ever heard someone say when they're smoking, it's like, okay, I can't get any higher than this?
Yeah.
It's like, I can keep smoking, but like, I'm as high as I could possibly get.
Yeah, I'd be
wondering
how, because these youngins, they smoke so much weed. I've never seen this type of intake. Like, and I'm not around them, but I'm watching their Instagrams, and they roll the biggest, but they step. I mean, how high?
They're good. I mean, they're not getting. I mean, there's like a level of that they're not reaching. They're not getting like super high or anything like.
Yeah, you have to put some cocaine in your weed if you want to get high. And nigga, like, I be trying to figure out how, why.
I mean, I don't really get it. I think it's just, that's part of the fad, and that's part of the perpetuating the stigma a little bit, you know. But at the same time, like, I kind of say, I mean, to each his own about that. Like, and I used to smoke really heavy too, so like, I'm not saying that, and I still probably smoke heavy to like someone else, you know,
the
to
people
like
that don't smoke.
Yeah, the people that don't smoke, they probably be like, wow, she smokes every day. That's a lot. But I mean, I used to smoke a lot, so it's like, I get it, and I was functional But I'll say this, because I took a break not too long ago, and I hadn't done that in years. I didn't know I could be even better. You know, it's like, I mean, I'm pretty good, but I was like, I'm actually even better. Now I've gotten to the point where I pretty much only smoke at night, but I use other types of THC products in the daytime. I just find that like smoking for me is more of, like you said, a relaxation. And I see people talking about blunts and all that stuff. I don't use any tobacco products at all anymore, you know, but I used to. I'm not going to say I didn't. I used to. I'm from DC, you know, we smoke
backwoods.
We smoke backwoods. So, I mean, I used to definitely smoke backwoods. I'm not going to lie or anything, but yeah, I don't anymore. I've learned so much about how it really works in your body. And I'm also on a mission, right? So that comes before trying to get high. I am just trying to utilize cannabis to make me the best version of myself. And also, I mean, it's a natural medicine. I don't want to take painkillers and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, listen, I don't want to do that.
I tell people all the time, you might need to smoke a joint. You need to calm down. You need to relax. And to be honest, I think too, it's all psyche, right? Because I tried the CBD smoke, and the things I want from it, that does without the THC. Like, I just want to be honest, a lot of that shit is aromatherapy. I'm a purist. If I'm going to smoke, I'm a purist. I want to inhale. I want to be a part of the experience. I want the smoke. And if I have that, I'm good. So if there's a good smell or aroma along with this sedating kind of like chill feel, that could, you know, but I think that helps more people than it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know people that smoke CBD flower only for that reason, just for that. And I realized something with me. I like, kind of like you said, that ritual of like breaking weed down, rolling it up, and smoking. That's part of it for people. Like,
you're a purist.
Yeah, I'm definitely a purist for sure. I mean, and I love that. That's why it's like, I'm never going to stop smoking. I don't care what type of cool products we come out with. If we make it look like regular medicine, I'm still going to want to smoke. And that's why there's always going to be an adult use or recreational for those who don't know what I mean. But there's always going to be an adult use market, because we're always going to want to smoke. We're always going to want to eat it. You know, we've been doing that, infusing cannabis and gummies and brownies.
Cookies, brownies.
Everything. We've been doing
lollipops. But let me ask you this. Marion, Maine, your business is booming. You've been in business. How long now?
Almost 2 years we've been open.
Dope. So what are your products? What are your things that go out the door that you can't keep? I'm talking about the front door.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, right now we're just retail. We're not producing our own products yet.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, and how it works you have to operate within your state. So you can only purchase products from licensed growers or processors or whatever it is.
In Maryland.
So there's like 20 of each, about, on average. 20 growers, 20 processors. Some of those are the same people.
Right.
So those are my only options. I can't get, you know.
I'm gonna pin. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna pin you because our pin left when the thing hung up.
When it hung up.
I got you.
No problem. Like Gas House, those are my guys. You know, Felix and Kingston, those are my guys. I can't sell Gas House because they're not being produced here in Maryland.
Right.
So just that's how you know. But like where we're located in Capitol Heights, it's still a flower country. You know, people still want to buy the bud. People are not focused on concentrates and those. You know, we're still introducing those things. It's a predominantly Black area. Black people are still getting on the East Coast are still getting introduced to the idea of holding a blowtorch up to a beaker, and you know that kind of looked like smoking crack.
Yeah, that makes me nervous.
Makes me nervous. You know, people are still kind of like, not that. So you know, flower is still king. That's definitely our number one product. We have a few brands that, you know, we definitely sell more of, the lower cost brands. Because right now, at the end of the day, our biggest, I guess you could say, competitor, and I definitely don't consider this a real competitor, but I'd say your average person says that our competitor is the street. Because everybody got their guy.
Yeah, I want to ask you, how tempting, no, not tempting, that's not the word. I don't know. It's just, I know a lot of what I read and what I see
Mm-hmm.
is these companies. I mean, they're companies. They're viable companies. You know, obviously certain states have certain, you know, taxations and how much,
Yeah.
you know, but you know, the out the back door. I don't know if you caught that when I said that a little earlier. I said out the front door, but then like
Mm-hmm.
I said, the back because,
Yeah.
but that's a big business.
So for me, it's not because of the position that I'm in and what I have the potential to do in this industry. I can't risk anything. But I feel
As you
you.
should not.
Right. I feel you because it makes sense. But, you know, they really have done the best that they can. There's always ways around things. You know, there's always ways around. But it would be very hard. So everything is tracked, seed to sale. You can't, no interstate commerce at all. So, you know, it's tracked from when a grower puts a plant in the soil or however they're growing. You know, everyone's gonna be like, I don't use soil. Okay, whatever you use to grow. When the little thing sprouts out, you got to put a tag on it and you got to track it. They know how much a plant would normally yield. So as you're putting in the numbers and you're losing water weight, you're losing all the stuff, they know what the average loss is. If your loss starts to be too much, if the
What's going
commission
on?
comes, where to go? When the commission comes and they are inspecting and they say, all right, you say you have, you know, a grower, y'all got 100 pounds in here. Show me the 100 pounds. I need to see it. Y'all say you have, you know, 300 plants in here. Let me count 300 plants. If there's 500 plants in here, we got a problem. So, and then from there, it goes to us and it's tracked the weight. And then to every patient, it's tracked how much they're buying.
Wow.
So you can't, there's no way, because people all the time, they're like, oh, I grow this fire, you know, just, you can just slip it in there. I'm like, actually, we can't. We like literally, I'm not that I would jeopardize it even if I figured out a way, but like there's literally not a way.
I got a way not to do that, but I have
Yeah.
a way to trick the system. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
We need to double down on this CBD thing because see,
Yeah.
CBD, you can move wherever you want to move it. And because it comes in flower form, see, this is my thing. What do
Yep.
you really want from the high? I mean, what do you really want from the high? Because listen here, ladies and gentlemen, CBD can give you that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think you need to figure out a way because what I do know is that the majority of people that I know that smoke because they have anxiety, smoke because they everything that you know the need is because of the anxiety or the pressure or the stress or the
Right.
CBD can handle all that.
And CBD has a lot of the real true medicinal benefits, like the anti-inflammatory benefits, because most diseases are caused by inflammation of some kind. So
Wait, somebody just said CBD doesn't have the medicine. What does that mean?
So it does, you know, THC definitely does too. THC, in my opinion, I mean, like I said, there's more studies that need to come out. THC has certain uses, but CBD has a lot of the medicinal properties. But there
So that
are
person
some
was
times,
wrong. So that person
to
was
an
wrong.
extent,
Okay.
it's like, so the entourage effect is important in cannabis, meaning like all of the different things working together, the terpenes, the cannabis. That's why different strains are, you know, that's why they have that. And it's not just like one thing. They have different strains because the entourage effect of all of them together have specific implications. So there are certain things that THC is better for. Like let's say you have cancer. Someone just said RSO. So RSO is good for people who are going through cancer treatments, chemo treatments, radiation treatments. My mother had breast cancer and she treated herself using RSO. My mother is doing great right now. She is with us, but this is something that happened after we got the license. You know, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. My mom had never been a cannabis user before, so we really got to see this in like real life.
Wow.
But
congratulations, RSO, by the way, and love to your mother.
Thank you. But you know that RSO is a full extract of the cannabis plant, and it has a lot of THC. It's extremely strong. That'll knock you out for real if you're not like. I mean, the same way you wouldn't take Oxy if you weren't really using it is the same way like with RSO. It's something like that. But like for other reasons, we've seen with children with seizures, high CBD, very low THC is more effective for them in oil form. So I think there's different reasons, but CBD still, just from a pure business perspective, CBD is a good way to back into it. You know, CBD is
Right.
a good way to back into it from an economic perspective. Medicinally, you know, we're still missing some things with THC, but the laws will change. Honestly, I believe long term, all of these companies that are doing CBD, I think will have an opportunity to shift into the THC market and use more cannabinoids. Because remember I said there's hundreds of cannabinoids. So there's more than just THC.
Yeah.
We got to do more research, and we have to allow for universities to have the opportunity, more legislative work that needs to be done to allow our universities to do actual research and have clinical trials and things like that, so we can learn about other cannabinoids and how to you know, make medicines and make strains different ways without always getting you high. That makes sense. Hi, Nadir. I see people, but yeah, so much that.
Awesome. Well, no, I love that. And in the meantime,
sorry.
why don't we figure out the CBD blue magic and go crazy on them DC streets? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
Obviously a bright future for you. I mean, you know, my mom is on here. She's a smoker. But I mean, we need to be educated on it. And I appreciate you coming on and like giving us all this game, telling us.
Sorry, internet is acting funny.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's like going in and out.
Well, I can see.
I think we're good now.
Okay, I can see you. I just wanted to again, you know, you have something 420. What is it called?
Yeah, the 420 experience, and I'm about to actually I'm merging efforts with a friend of mine who did a similar event, Uplift Maryland. They did a diversity symposium, and we're going to kind of merge efforts to bring a community where people can continue on the conversation, and we'll produce events through that and all that stuff. So yeah, the 420 experience and Uplift Maryland.
That's awesome. So you guys make sure you support the 420 experience, Marion, Maine, Hope, Wiseman. Yes. I'm proud of you. I think that, you know, you should be calling me for some type of investment when it comes to Atlanta. And then, yeah, yes. however else I can help. I love seeing our Black women crushing the game, being first in the game. You guys rightfully deserve it. And without y'all, we ain't got shit. So you keep going.
Thank you.
Stay presidential,
baby. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'll reach out soon.
Okay, I'm proud of you. Keep going.
Thanks, Kenny. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. And that storm, I heard a storm is coming.
Yeah, it's getting crazy outside right now. So.
Okay, that's why that Wi-Fi was starting to trip out. You be safe.
All right, guys. Bye.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Dope. That's dope, y'all. Y'all gotta follow Hope. You gotta stay down with the people that's building. The people that's building right now are the people that are gonna rule the world. You know what I'm talking about? When we come up out of this, y'all gotta stay focused, man. And the CBD business. I'm interested in the CBD business. Yeah, I'm interested in that business. So stay tuned. And I have a special offering for y'all tomorrow. Did y'all get the Afro Beats Juneteenth? Well, Afro Beats and Soul. Juneteenth playlist last week. Did you love it? I want to know. Did y'all love it? Who got it on here last week? I need to see comments because I'm going to do another playlist for y'all tomorrow. I am, yeah, I have something special for y'all. So stay tuned for tomorrow's offering. It's been a hell of a week. I got the legend Dougie Fresh next week, y'all. I got Damon John, man. I got some real fun stuff coming. I hope you enjoy this conversation because I think we're making a difference. People like Hope Wiseman are just as important as the superstar celebrities I have on this show. So please take the information that they're sharing and use it if it pertains to you. If not, just be equipped when you're in conversation about it, all right? I'll see y'all tomorrow. Love.